Good morning. Hello, my beautiful friends. It is Meditation Monday, and this past week, I myself have been a lot more structured and disciplined with my morning meditational practices. And can I just say that it's changed my entire life? Once again, as it always does, this happens to anybody who ever does this consistently. You will just start seeing everything shifting, and it's hard to decipher because it's all happening all at once. You just feel different once you come out of meditation and you've really gotten into a different space like never before. Once you come out of that meditation, you just feel energetically different because there has been an energetic shift within you. You're vibrating at a very higher frequency. So you already feel a little bit different. But then when the things around you start reacting to you differently as well, because of the internal shift that you've made, you're just and it's just the slightest shift. And it's just the slightest shift in the reactions of people around you, but it is different from what it was. So you're just what the fuck? So if any of you guys have not taken up a meditational practice, even though our tarot cards have been screaming at us to do it these past couple of weeks, there's still time. If not, and this could still be your first go at it, this is a wonderful meditation to do if you're first starting. I feel like this should be the meditation that you teach people when they've never done it before, because there's not really a goal of trying to stop your thoughts at all. This is a goal for really just being here in the present moment and being aware of what it is that you are thinking, regardless of what that is. It's not a time to be okay, we're going to focus on our breathing. We are going to do a little bit of breath work, obviously, because that's what gets us in the observer state. But for this meditation today, I want you to actually invite your thoughts to kind of just take over a little bit, because we're going to be actually just observing those thoughts from a more objective point of view rather than, identifying with every single one and being oh, yep, there's that thought that I have, 200 times every single day. It feels the same every single time, really observing that, seeing the patterns in ourselves that are so automatic we don't even really consciously even really think about it anymore because we just do it. So it's that when we look at that and we're oh my gosh, this pattern I've been doing for 2 years, I'm just looking at it from, it's not in me now, it's almost, I disidentify from it and I'm observing it and I'm looking at it in front of me so that I can see it from every single angle, from above and below, from all perspectives, instead of just, because when you're in it, when you're in the thick of it, which is the subjective reality, which is what happens when you don't really do any meditational work, you're just experiencing everything from your point of view, from your experience. You don't really think about other people's agendas and how this could affect other people. You're just kind of very self-centered in how you affect yourself. So when we do this meditation, it's God, it's just opening a door to a whole new window of seeing things, of being oh, this is not what I thought was going on, or this is not what I thought what this was about. I was taking this super personally. So this is a amazing meditation. I'm going to come in here, tune in, and then we'll get started, okay, you guys? There's not much super fancy about this meditation. I'm going to get some water. We're tuned in, and let me just say thank you so very much for being here. If you're watching this from the bottom of my heart, you're amazing, and I hope you recognize how much value you have. All right, let's get into this. First of all, you always want to get comfortable. Get yourself in a space where you feel like you can relax enough to, you don't want to be uncomfortable, because if you're uncomfortable, then your meditation has a very foul foundation, okay? You want to be very, very comfy and in a relaxed, naturally sacred space. And with this meditation, there's really not much to really do. Sit with how you are. I guess we can kind of get into the breath work first, just to kind of be here, be present. So let's do that. Let's just start with 5 deep inhales and exhales. And when I mean deep, I mean deeper than you've ever done it. Like, I really want you to challenge and expand your diaphragmatic and your lung muscles today. You want to stretch them so that tomorrow they're stronger, okay? So we inhale, start from down here at the base. Really feel that diaphragm expanding from down here, not up here. Ready? And then exhale. Just let it all fall. All right. Empty, 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 empty. And then we inhale again. Oh, that feels good. 3 more. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. All right. One more really, 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 really big one, okay? And then we'll get into this. Big, big inhale. And exhale. So now, if you have your eyes closed, you can keep them closed. Or for the purposes of this meditation, during the beginning, you can, during this part, have your eyes open, okay? Because right now we're going to be just visually observing our external, everything external to us, okay? And just labeling it. Don't want to give it like emotional sentience to it. If it's something, you know, obviously that you've had for a long time, you look at it, you're like, oh, you know. We're going to try to just, with objective perspective, you're just labeling it. You're just saying, this is a thing. This is that. And nothing more. So, if I were to do that, I would say mic stand, phone, water bottle, laptop, recording equipment, mirror, chair, guitar. And you're just getting your mind in that state of just looking at something and seeing it for just what's there. Give yourself some time to just look at everything around you and notice it, label it as what it is, and also in the back of your mind kind of observe the ability to see, you know, just the awareness that you yourself are observing something visually as well. Just looking around you, seeing this stuff all around you. And once you think you've got all that done, if you want to close your eyes, you can close your eyes now. And we can move on to the other sensory perceptions. Maybe the smell, if you can smell anything in particular right now, or just feel the quality of the air that you're inhaling and exhaling. Depending on if you're outside or inside, the air could be colder, warmer breathing. And if you smell something in particular, just name or label that thing that you're smelling. Then we can move on to our hearing. What do you hear with your ear senses? I can hear myself talking. I can hear my laptop making noises. I can hear my mother playing music in the bathroom, many, many rooms away. I can hear my own breathing. So maybe instead of just saying my breathing or something, if it's yours, you could just say breath or breathing. Try to make it as simple as possible. Just remember it. Heartbeat. Laptop. Yeah, I already said laptop. Okay. So now that we're kind of getting more into the in-body and all of our other senses, we're going to be moving into the taste, the tongue. If you're not eating right now, most likely than not, you probably won't be having very many sensations in this department. So just feel your tongue. Recognize your taste buds. Notice that they're there. Just acknowledge that they're there and their purpose. And how different your life would be if you didn't have this sense perception at all. What if they just weren't there? You never tasted. Right? Okay. So we're getting more into the internal perspective instead of all the things happening outside of us, which is perfect, exactly our goal. Now, touch. It's pretty much the last sense perception. So with this, we're just kind of becoming more internally aware, which can be a multitude of things. So the main goal here, as we're getting more internal, now we are intentionally focusing all of our awareness on what is going on inside of us, not outside of us. Inside. We're becoming self-observant. We're still doing the same thing of not milking the emotional drama of it. This time, we're taking something that could be something that would be emotionally charging, and we're pulling it out of us so that we are no longer in the thick of the emotion. It's still there, but we're not identified with it. It is still there. It's right there in front of us. But we are choosing to step out of that. And once we're stepping out of it, the part of us that is still there is the observer, the part of us that is watching everything happen. There's the experiencer, which is our body and our thoughts and the physical parts of existing, and then there's our soul, which is just the one sitting back quietly observing everything happening and not really having much of an opinion about it, honestly. It's just watching it happen. So that's the aspect of ourselves that we're tapping into when we're like, okay, when I separate myself from this super emotionally charged situation or argument or trigger, I can see it, I can take it out of me, therefore look at it from a perspective that's not, from that knee-jerk reaction perspective, which is never going to be the way you want to go about something. So here we are. You could be feeling a lot of intense emotions right now, or a lot of intense physical sensations, depending on who you are, what you've been doing, So many factors are at play right here, right now. So this is a completely individual experience right now for everyone. You come in here. For me, I'm feeling pretty good today, so there isn't really anything in particular that first is grabbing my attention, right? You could, if you're in physical pain somewhere, the first thing you want to do, and it's like grabbing your attention, is the first thing you want to do is look at that. You could even visually, like, this is something that I had to learn how to do. I learned how to do when I was like 14, I think, actually, like a while ago. So what I would visualize is I'd see myself. This is what I would personally do. I've never heard anybody else do this, but this is what I saw. I'd see myself as one person, feeling this emotion, fully charged in whatever I'm going through. Or if it's a physical experience, then I'm feeling myself having this physical sensation, whether it's painful or good. And then visualize seeing myself, and then almost visualizing my soul, which is me, the true me, walking out of my body. Just stepping out of it. And my physical body is still there, in pain, feeling all the things, but my soul, the real part of me, has just stepped out of that perspective. So then that part of me turns around and sees the body of me having that emotional reaction. Does that make sense? Does that make any sense? There's two parts of me. There's my soul, and then there's my body. And my soul is the real me, looking at my physical body in the midst of either physical pain or emotional pain or whatever it is that you're feeling in this present moment, regardless of what it is. So we do that now. I want you to really, if you want to, if it fits with you, visualize that. It's a really cool experience to actually feel that happening, regardless of what it is. So I'm going to do that now. We're just see yourself and what you're feeling. If you don't want to do the visualization, then all you're going to be doing when you notice the sensation, the feeling, or whatever you're experiencing is labeling it. Looking at it and giving it a name, and just saying, that. But I honestly think that the visualization really gives you the perception of stepping out of that reality and looking at it differently. So you see yourself. I need to choose what it is that I'm going to be aware of for a moment, observing in myself. How about my mind is so quiet. When I do these guided meditations, my mind does get very, very quiet. So how about we observe oh my, that might be a little difficult. You know what? Making this too complicated. You might have a lot of things coming up. So if you don't want to just like focus on one thing, I feel like I made it to where you felt like you had to focus on one thing. This is the goal of this meditation. Honestly, things are going to come up naturally. You just want to get yourself relaxed and kind of in a certain way have your observer self, the soul part of you, almost like imagine him like hiding in bushes, just like waiting for the next thought in your mind to come up so that it can grab it and analyze it. Okay? So that's all we're going to do. Honestly, throughout this whole meditation, it's just the practice of getting quiet and allowing the gunk to come up. Allowing the gunk to resurface. All the thoughts that you think all the time that aren't even serving you, that are just causing up a lot of cognitive space. You're bringing them up into the surface so that you can look at them and really take a good look at them and see, is this serving me? Let's take a really good 360 perception look at this thought that I have and seeing if it serves me, and putting it in the trash or seeing if you want to keep it. Decluttering your mind. And then eventually, if you do this consistently, you'll find yourself one day just in complete silence. There's no more thoughts just rising up to the surface without your conscious awareness or consent. And it's amazing. So honestly, I feel like at this point there's not much to say, since it's such an individual experience. So I'm probably just going to shut up now and give us all some moments of silence and allow you to really experience that. Just know that there's no way to do it wrong. There's no way to do it wrong. So just have this honest to God experience with yourself in this moment, and I will do the same. The goal, once again, before we get started, is to literally just get yourself relaxed. And I repeat, do not try to just stop your thoughts. Don't try to just get them. Don't try to just focus so intently on your breathing and push away your thoughts. This is not the meditation for that. Some of the times that is the goal, because we're just trying to get to the silence. But right now our goal is to really observe and allow ourselves to experience, but not become identified with our thoughts arising within us right here in this moment. So it's a very powerful meditation, and I hope you get something out of it, because I know I have. Cool? Sorry, it's a super long description. Let's just get into it now, okay? This might be like maybe 10 minutes. 10 minutes of this, I feel like that's a really good time for beginners, for sure. Any time over that is usually overkill. So let's just begin. Let us close our eyes. We've done all the other awareness stuff. Here we are. We know what our goal is. We know about the value of having subjective perspective, which is feeling everything in the moment, completely identifying with it, having the true human experience, knowing there's value in that. But then there's also a lot of value in being able to see things from a more larger point of view perspective, which is the objective. One of too much is not good. It's finding the balance between the two. So let's just take one big inhale and one big exhale. And you can maybe have a prayer or a little intention before we get into this, saying, I choose with my free will to allow whatever needs to come up right here, right now, and I will sit here and observe it and notice it and see it for how my inner being sees it. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. So just sit and breathe. If you have a pen and paper on you nearby, sometimes if you're new, it can be helpful to write down every single thought that does come into your mind, if it's really emotionally charging. Something comes up and it's like, oh, just write it down, and then you can go back on it later and look at all of your thoughts during meditation, which is kind of fun. But if not, you're just here, just experiencing. With each breath, just surrendering to the present moment. to breathe very deeply during this. Very, very, very deeply and as slow as you can. If you find yourself having thoughts and you don't really know how to label them, if it's anything like along the lines of, beating yourself up or thinking about something that doesn't, bring you emotionally pleasurable sensations, then you just simply really just say, I'm having, not even having, you don't want to identify with it. You just want to label it as a negative thought. Not even something that you're having or that belongs to you or that it's happening in you. You just recognize it and say, a negative thought. A positive thought. I kind of see the observer self as like if you've ever gone to like a big family event, but you've been someone who doesn't know any of the family personally. You just come in and you're not really connected to these people in any way. So you really, deep down, you don't really give a single fuck about like what happens to them. So it's easy, like if there's drama going on or if those people are in a heated argument, you can look at the whole dynamic from a perspective of not really giving too much of a fuck, right? Because you're just like, this doesn't affect me personally in any way. So you can sit and watch the whole drama unfolding without having any emotional uprising really happening within you because it's not affecting you in any way. That's kind of how this meditation works, in a sense. You're coming up, walking into this environment with all of your bullshit, all of your gunk, all the things that you think, or, all of these things that you've picked up that aren't really serving you, that are actually causing you so much pain. And you're coming up and you're looking at them from a perspective that you don't usually go into it with. And with that perspective, it gives you so much clarity and awareness of the fact that you can stop that narrative now that you're aware of it. So, such a beautiful practice. Just be aware of what's coming up instead of pushing it away, inviting it this time. As we breathe in and out. Hunger. did a meditation prior to this, so I'm not really having very many thoughts coming up now. But that's awesome. So wonderful. So amazing. So awesome. Having a happy thought. We'll do 5 more minutes of just sitting here and observing. Okay? KK. You can extend this for however long you see fit. But if you'd like to come out of the meditation whenever you see fit, before doing so, I would like to plant a little seed in your head to just contemplate the very attainable reality of a life where all of those unnecessary thoughts and all of those cognitive pattern thoughts that just keep resurfacing and seem to never, they have a mind of their own. You don't even have control over it. It just appears. The kind of thoughts like that are detrimental to your well-being and don't make you feel good about yourself or the world around you or other people. It makes you feel more disconnected than anything else. Those kinds of thoughts that most people, 90% of the world, operates from this level of experiencing reality with this brain that never shuts up. And it's never information that is actually serving you. It's always bringing you down, making you feel inadequate usually, making you feel insecure, comparing yourselves to other people, making judgments about other people that just makes you feel resentful towards them and makes you feel, the list can go on and on and on. And most of us have all of this playing in the back of our heads 24/7, all the time. And we're not really living or experiencing life when this is the case. We're not living. We're suffering. And usually we don't even know it. We're not even aware of it. And it's usually such a common thing that most people would think that that's just the way to live. But it really isn't. There's a life where all of those unnecessary things don't exist. And every thought that you have could be deliberate, meaning that you are choosing to think it on purpose right here in that moment. There's free will involved. You're doing it because you want to, and therefore it's benefiting you in the present moment and for your future. And when we do this meditation, just this meditation alone could cultivate that in our lives, which is ridiculous when you think about how much other things people are putting their time and energy into, when there's this beautiful practice and beautiful technique and thing that we could be putting into our lives that's really making us have more joy instead of trying to just cope through it all the time, It makes the world of a difference, and it's hard to explain it to somebody who's never had that experience before. So all I can really say is give it a try, and don't give up the first couple of times. It's a exercise, it's a workout. It's something that your brain has to develop and train into. It's a muscle that needs to be worked. If you don't use it, you lose it. It goes for everything, especially mindfulness work. So I hope you got something out of this. I did. I don't care if you did, because I did. But if you did, that's a bonus, and that's awesome. And I'm glad that you did. And I hope that from this day forward, you notice certain things in your reality that have just shifted and can make you realize how much of a powerful creator you are. Everything changes when you make the slightest shift in yourself. I promise. You'll see. Just wait. Cool. Thank you so very, very much. I love you guys. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your Monday. I know I am. Today's going to be amazing for me. I think I'm going to get some shit done today, finally, and I have all the time in the world to do that because I have the best life ever. So, see you guys. Thank you. Love you. Have a wonderful rest of your Monday. And I'll see you tomorrow for Tarot Tuesday. Our tarot cards this week are very significant and amazing. So, it's going to be a wonderful week. Love you guys. Have a wonderful rest of your day. I'll see ya.